How are we doing, Horseshoe Nation? We are tracking two massive updates for you today. To start, an active trade request from a dynamic quarterback is still on the table. However, our assistant general manager insists on keeping 3 reliable passers, meaning this intense backup competition continues right into our final preseason matchup with Detroit. Also, we need to discuss a 6th-round rookie defensive end from right here in Indiana who just played his first game at Lucas Oil Stadium after logging a sack recently. I will reveal both names shortly. Please stay until the end, hit like, and subscribe to our channel. Anthony Richardson remains with the Colts for now, despite his trade request lingering as a major question mark for our front office. I have watched him fight for a spot on this depth chart all preseason, and while I love his ability to extend plays, we have to stay grounded regarding his actual fit in this offense. Assistant GM Ed Dodds confirmed the team intends to keep him as part of a 3-quarterback rotation, though he is currently locked in a tough competition with Riley Leonard. The part fans are not ready for is how thin the margin for error has become in these final snap counts. Is this simply a temporary stopgap, or are we witnessing a genuine pivot in our roster strategy? Richardson wants to contribute, but with 1 game left against Detroit, I am curious. Will his performance finally settle this ongoing backup debate? Why would the front office keep a player who clearly wants out, unless they truly believe there is an untapped path forward? Assistant GM Ed Dodds confirmed the intention is to retain 3 quarterbacks, leaving the door cracked for Anthony Richardson despite that lingering trade request. Here is where it gets interesting, as this situation is not just about the current depth chart. It reflects a front office prioritizing roster security over individual desires. While I appreciate his ability to create outside the pocket, I am excited, but I also want to pump the brakes a little because performance matters more than potential. With 1 preseason game against Detroit remaining, we are watching a delicate balancing act under Shane Steichen. Is this simply about asset management, or do they see something in the tape that we are missing? Only time will settle this debate. Now let's shift our attention to a hometown kid making his mark as Caden Curry finally took the field at Lucas Oil Stadium against Atlanta this past Saturday. It was a massive milestone for the 6th-round pick out of Center Grove, especially after he absolutely dominated the Patriots the week prior with a sack and 5 total tackles. Let's be real, seeing an Indianapolis native live out his dream in that uniform hits different, but I also want to pump the brakes a little before we expect him to anchor the defensive line. While his lone tackle against the Falcons was a bit quiet compared to his debut, he is clearly grinding for his spot on this roster. Is he ready for the speed of the regular season, or does he need more time? Regardless, his passion is infectious and exactly what we need. Seeing a local guy like Caden Curry step onto the grass at Lucas Oil Stadium reminds me exactly why we watch these preseason contests. That debut against New England clearly showcased his raw potential, but can he maintain that high level of production against starters? This is where it gets real, because the shift from a 5-tackle performance to a singular tackle against Atlanta shows just how volatile rookie expectations truly are. Wish TV highlighted his deep emotional connection to the city, yet I worry about the steep climb required to secure a permanent slot on our defensive depth chart. Does that lack of consistency on the stat sheet suggest he needs more polish before seeing meaningful snap counts? The way I see it, his motor is undeniable, but he must prove he can survive in the trenches consistently to avoid the dreaded practice squad fate. When you put both of today's stories together, the picture that emerges for the Indianapolis Colts is one of a front office betting heavily on development over immediate change. Connecting the decision to retain Anthony Richardson with the integration of rookie Caden Curry, I see a clear focus on long-term roster construction. And here's why that's a big deal. Both situations confirm that this team values the internal process of molding young talent, even through growing pains. Are you comfortable with the front office choosing to keep 3 quarterbacks instead of clearing cap space, or does this hold us back? Furthermore, after watching his quiet production against the Falcons, do you believe Caden Curry can elevate his performance once the regular season begins? I really want to hear from the fans in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Horseshoe Nation.